Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday, April 19th, and we are setting into a new energy force. So, hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the cosmos and doing their thing on the highways and byways of the beautiful cosmic highway. Yeah, well, we got the moon will be moon. I keep on saying moon because the moon is moving. But we do have the sun. The sun is going into Taurus and it's going to be there till May 20th. We also have there's a Gazimi, meaning what does that mean? That means when the sun and Mercury get so close together, right? So when any planet is like really close to the sun, it's like it's like this huge powerhouse of energy. So we have that huge powerhouse of energy that happened yesterday, and hence we are now going into we are now Mercury is now in Taurus. And so that trine off of Mars, which is out of bounds. So Mars will be answering to Venus, and he's really feisty and really wants to go forward, yet he will be heading into Cancer, which is very emotional. So we do have this beautiful, we do have everything going forward. So everything's in this wonderful forward motion, yet we might be feeling, again, I got this feistiness. We might be feeling out of sorts, and we might be a little bit angry. Angry. And being in Taurus, this is the whole thing. It's like and I was describing it to my meditation group this morning. Where are you being led? Like, because you have this as a cow, the cow has the piercing in its nose, and it's led, right? So there's this leading of, where are you being led? Are you being led, or are you allowing yourself to go in the direction that you want to go into? And with Taurus, it's a very methodical, it's very forward moving. It is, once a bull gets an idea in its head, that is it. I mean, the bull will charge. So we are starting to get the full force of this Taurus energy, which is really, you're going to feel it later on this day, is that you're going to feel this full force of this Taurus energy on direction on where you want to go. And Venus is getting close to Uranus. And Venus being getting close to Uranus, it does. She's getting like maybe a little bit agitated. She's in her house. Then she finds that there's this crazy person in her house, and who is going to say, hey, you just want to lay by the pool. No. Let's go out. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. We're going to get active. So you might not be feeling to get active. So that might cause you a little bit of agitation. So this is setting your direction in motion on where you want to go. And that bull energy is slow, but the other thing too is, like, you can say, yeah, the bull energy is slow, but the other part too about bull energy is that if a bull gets mad, if she gets mad, or he gets mad, he will charge. Like, he will go straight at whatever is pissing him off. And that's the other part of the bull. So the Taurus energy, yeah, it might seem so beautiful and Ferdinand-y, and that you're sitting there watching the blossoms grow, but he also has a part of him that he wants to illuminate. He wants to make sure, this is my pasture. This is my domain. I want my domain to be a certain way. I don't want you coming in here disrupting my domain if you are not asked. So there's that energy of are you just disrupting this domain, right? And this, imagine Mars, Mercury, Venus in Taurus. Sherry is a Gemini sun. Yeah, and the thing is that it's, with that Mars and Mercury and Venus, it's a forward motion, right? It is a forward motion. How are you allowing for that forward motion to go through? Or are you being led? See, that's the whole thing, because I mean, having that combination, even in Taurus, you have to, even though Venus is ruling that sign and she is the depositor of that sign, yet Mars and Mercury being in there, are you being led? Who's leading the pack? Who's the chirper in the year of not allowing for things to go forward? Because the thing about the Taurus energy is that if they are able to go somewhere that they're going to get a treat, then they're gonna, it's like it's a training, right? So you're trained. If you watch cows when they are going to go get milked, they will line up. They will line up to get that treat or get whatever it is that they are saying that they're going to get. So with a lot of dairy farmers, they have it's automated system where the cows will automatically go into the corral, to their station on where they're going to get milked, because they're going to get special treats there. They're pellets that they're going to get there. And so they will line up and then go and get milked. And then once they're finished being milked and the things are done, they'll go on, and then the next cow will go in. So they'll do this without even having to be led there, right? So there is a part, and this is where this energy comes in with Taurus. Where are you being led? Where are people just being led upon this earth into some kind of corral saying, here is the treat, here's what you're going to get. If you do this, you're going to be rewarded. So here's that Taurus energy. But again, it's like, okay, because Uranus is there, and Uranus is going to say, do you want to be here? Is this really what you want? Because that will bring up some anger. That will bring up some feeling of, oh, is this really what I am wanting? And we'll find, because as the sun or the moon goes into Leo, it's going to square off the sun. So there's going to be this energy that's going to come in and saying, well, I deserve this. This is what I deserve. You owe it to me. Right? And that idea of being, I am privileged because this is who I am. Yet you have Mars is at the end of Gemini, and he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And Eris is coming in. She's going to be coming into her fourth square to Pluto. So she's like, I'm not putting up with any of this bullshit. I'm the goddess of discord. And being the goddess of discord, I am going to cause craziness. Because I am not going to go along with what you are saying. And Pluto will say, okay, is this the relationship that you want? Is this what you are going for? Because we have this third objective over here that you may not have been looking at. And the third objective is coming in and saying, well, you say you want to become a yoga instructor, yet you're not doing yoga every day. Or you say you want to change things in your life, yet you're still hanging out at the same bar or the same cafe, or you're going, you're wanting to save money, yet you're still spending in the same way. So this is where Pluto comes in, and he's saying, okay, you're saying this, but look at this over here. And that's going to get you a little bit pissed off, because you're like, maybe you don't want to look at that. Maybe it's just that you're wanting this special wand to come in to change everything for you, and everything will be fine. So you don't have to really change or do anything. It's just everything else around you has to change before you do anything. Interesting. Because we know nothing around you is going to change until you change. You mean if I change my energy, if I change my activity, that is going to bring forth the change and transformations I need. Interesting. Because we live in such a society that throwaway society, absolutely. And we live in a society that just, you know, we feel that we deserve this because we have done this, or we deserve everything. So it's like being a trust fund child. I deserve this. I am this person. My mommy and daddy do this, so I deserve this. So we're in this energy of I deserve. I deserve to be heard. I deserve to have this. Causes animosity, causes disruption. Because nobody wants to come together to create. Everybody's on this agenda of I deserve. And not looking at, oh, okay, so we have this. I'm going to use an analogy that's very. So I go out to the garbage today to take the garbage out and set it up and what have you. There is a bag there, and I'm just like, what the bag is. So I opened up the bag. It's a bed and bag, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a beautiful bed and bag. Why is this bed and bag here? So of course I take the quilt out and I take a look at it, and it's got some stains on it. Okay, that's not a problem. And I'm looking, I'm just like, well, who put this here? And I'm like, oh, this looks like something my daughter would buy. And I'm like, some of the stuff is kind of like gnarly, but it's not gross. So I go to her and I say, did you throw away a bed in a bag? Because it looks brand new. And she said, yes, I did, because the dog peed and puked on it. And I said, did you get it dry cleaned? No, I just threw it out. So you didn't wash it? You didn't try and clean it? And I'm just like, wow, that's so deserving. So deserving. I'm just like, and it just like flew me, just like, what the fuck? So of course, what does mom do? Mom pulls it all in because I'm going to clean this and I'm going to get it dry cleaned. Because I asked her, did you get it dry cleaned? She goes, no, I didn't even think about it. Why would I get it dry cleaned when I can buy something new? Interesting. So looking at the energies, looking at that, because that's the thing. It's like, why should I start taking care of myself when they're just going to give me a shot in the arm and everything in my life is going to be okay, and I'm going to get this passport and life is going to be okay, and I'm just going to be able to do whatever I want? Will you? So this is where this moon, this sun in Taurus is starting us to take a real good look at the directions, because we came in with this springtime, supposedly, depending where you live in the world, this spring energy as the moon went over the equator, or as the sun went over the equator, and we brought in this energy of springtime, of renewal, of newness, of butterflies and fairies and everything. And we're coming into Taurus and saying, how are you setting this all down? How are you creating this? And how do you want to create this? Which is a big question too. So this day, as we're heading into this day is really getting us to really look at things in a new way. And with that moon is still in Cancer right now, and it's trining Neptune, Pisces, watery. So there's emotional, spiritual, maybe overwhelming, feelings. So we got to let the feelings flow, because we do have, with Mercury's inviting you to commit to a deeper level, to process a purpose. So we have this energy to want to process a purpose for ourselves. And it is with that Venus coming in, and she's making aspects to the South Node. It is a skill that you are so good at, you didn't even know that you have. So the South Node is what you know that you can do. So there's things there that you can do, that you're really good at, that you need to start paying attention to in order to create and make changes for yourself and plant those seeds down. And in doing so, that is going to create some really fabulous new energy. And this is going to be looking at, is like, where am I being led? Am I allowing someone to lead me? Do I want them to lead me? Because sometimes it's like, maybe you are in a new job, or you're in a new learning something new, and of course you're going to be led on a journey. You're going to be led to something new. You're going to learn something new, right? Or are you just saying, fuck it, I don't give a shit, I'm just going to do it, and not pay attention to your feelings, your truth, on the directions of where you need to go to? What? I know this week is going to be pretty gnarly. It's going to be a gnarly week. Another one, I'm sorry. So it is going to bring in some real gnarliness for us. It's going to bring in some changes for us. We're really going to have a few things that are I feel like this is a week to listen to anything that's in the news, because people are just going to be just throwing shit out. What did I just read? California decided math is math. What did they say? Decided math is racist, and say objective reality is oppression. Oh my God! So this is the energy that we're in. So I'm just thinking of the Mayans, because no one told the Mayans how to build. Well, we'll say that the Mayans figured out how to build the pyramids without the aliens, but they figured it out. The Mayans didn't have anybody telling them that this was the value of this. And what about building of Noah's Ark? And if they think it's so racist, actually, the founding or that of the basis of mathematics comes from Arab, and the Middle East, and coming from that area, because they were studying the stars and figuring out the stars. And before that was Pythagoras' theory, which was Greek. Interesting. I don't know. All I know, it's just fucked up on some of the objectives. But they want to cast a vote to it. So I don't know how they're going to cast the vote, because if math is racist, or if math, who's going to count them? And how are they going to count them? So it is an interesting concept that we are coming into, and some crazy energies and learnings that we are being subjected to, and getting us to really look at things. And I'm just like, well, I'm hoping that who's ever building a building or building a house, they do know their math, and they can knowing how to figure out the squares and everything else. So, and it's funny because I was watching a Fixer Up show yesterday, and the one guy is he needed to figure out a bench, and it was sort of like the top part of an octagon, and he wanted to have each one to be exact, and he gave his brother, who's a mathematician, the information of what he wanted, and his brother had to go through all the math and everything else to figure out how big each section had to be precisely, so that it would fit in this one area. But he had to use a math. And that's the whole thing. That's okay. We're going to get back to Taurus. That's the whole thing, is that you got to figure things out. And sometimes you have to figure things out precisely. And that's what Taurus wants you to do, is figure things out precisely on allowing you to go into that direction. We will be able to come into a variant or a variable as we head into Gemini. But right now it's saying, okay, if you are wanting, so if you're planting a garden and if you're wanting zucchinis, like last year you had tons of zucchinis and you didn't have a lot of cucumbers, maybe this is the time to say, because the cucumbers were angry because you had too many zucchinis. So you have to now say, okay, we don't need so many zucchinis. We're going to try a new variety of cucumbers to see how that grows this year. Being more precise on what it is that you are planting and what you are wanting to seed. And in doing so, that's going to create a more harmonious life for yourself. But yeah, this is, so, as I say, what you see in the news is going to be pretty crazy. And so I would just ignore it right now. Oh, it's I kind of shake my head to a lot of the stuff that goes on, and wanting to stay in my love, staying in my light, and guide people upon wisdom and upon the connection to their divine is so important. Because my mind starts to go, it's like, well, then how do they figure out the COVID numbers? How do they figure out these vaccine numbers? And if it's 1 in a million who get a blood clot, how about all those women who take the birth control, and it's 600 in a million get blood clots from using the birth control? And after using the birth control for 10 years, that you have to get pregnant, actually, it goes down to the protection is less than 74%. So then your birth control is less effective than what it was before. Yet, they still have it on the market. Interesting how they get those numbers, right? I've had enough of the zucchinis of the world. You and me both. I've had enough of the zucchinis of the world. And the craziness of the world. I mean, today Mateus is home, and the reason why he's home today is because they have confirmed that a child within a school has a new variant, whatever the new mutation is. They're not saying what variant it is, but there's a variant, even though every week they've gotten a notice that somebody has COVID in the school, and that Alberta Health will get a hold of who's ever in that classroom. But until then, you can still go to school. That doesn't make any sense to me. If that is true, and if it's so bad, why are we sending anybody to school? How do we know that kid didn't go to the bathroom, that he didn't go somewhere else? Like, really? And the mall and the Walmart and Costco. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense to me. It just blows my mind if it's just like, oh my God. So let's go back to Taurus. Let's go back to what we do know. And that is your connection to your divine. How does that make you feel? Where do you want to go upon your path and not be led upon a crazy trail? Because you can be led there. I mean, this is where we head into the direction of where we need to be. And when we start to look at that, then the vibration goes out, then the vibration and the connections start to happen. But it, as California says, I don't know, maybe they're smoking some MDMA or something, some form of meth or something fucked up. I don't know. But it is a part of dismantling our society. That's what this is all coming down to. It's dismantling the way that we are to be and how we are to think. And if you're not allowed to think objectively within your life, then you are basically being a zucchini and being led through the corridors of saying, this is what you need to do. And you'll be happy when you do it. You'll be fucking happy, because you know what? We're not going to have you own anything, because you'll be happy in that way. Human beings are not happy that way. Human beings are happy when they are actually producing and working in a cooperative community that helps them to grow and thrive. That's when human beings are happy. Human beings are happy and they thrive when people are able to voice their opinions and be able to come together in that voicing, and still be able to not only be held accountable for it, but also be found that they are able to be forgiven from it also. So Daddy's gone out to buy you, Papa's going out to buy you a cookie. Okay. Yeah, we got to have that cookie. You know that. So this is this is where we start to look at things. What kind of community, what kinds of things, and even looking into the things that your children are being taught at school. And really, that's an important piece. And being involved in being involved with their learning process. Because you might find that they might be being taught something that you have no idea about. So, love the energies of Taurus. It's getting us to look at things in a new way and set into a direction of a new pathway for ourselves. So, my loves, we have the sun, moon, and rising sign workshop coming up on May 2nd. So, if you want to get a better understanding of your purpose in life, the things that are going, why certain things happen, but this is getting you to understand sometimes the easy things that you do in life are part of the purpose of what you should be doing. So recognizing where your sun, moon, and rising sign are, what sign they're in, what house they're in. Rising sign is always in the first house. So what is in your first house? What does the moon sign mean? What does the sun sign mean? So it is going to be a 1 to 4, so a couple hours, and I'll have Q&A after that, so you can ask certain questions, but we're just working on the sun, moon, and rising sign. We're not working on other aspects. Those other aspects are going to be in a next workshop where we'll have sun, moon, and rising sign, and then we're going to start bringing in the Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So this is going to be built up so that you can take chunks of it and not be overwhelmed with it, because I find that it's a lot of information and it can be overwhelming in understanding the process of what each one means as we go through, because we're not bringing in the aspects, we're not bringing in the trines or the squares or anything along that line. That's the thing, is that to me comes further down the way. When you get to understand, well, what does a trine mean? What does a square mean? What does a sextile mean? What does, a quincunx mean? What does a semi-sextile mean? Because those are all aspects, they're all angles and stuff that are in. Oh my God, I'm using math. Sorry. Forgot math is racist. I don't know. So using the different and figuring that out, that adds into the next layer, and then we work into having Jupiter and Saturn, and then going into the outer planets. So this is sort of like a work in progress as we go, in building understanding of how to read your natal chart, and taking your time in reading your natal chart and enjoying it. So if you want to join me, that is on May 2nd. It's $33. If you are part of the Patreon, my Dark Roast, you get 10% off. So if you're part of the Dark Roast group, you get 10% off of any of the workshops that are going on. So everyone, have a blessed one, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all you do. Go out there and shine, and allow yourself to go upon the road that you know that you need to be on. Have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Blessed be.